It's that time. It's that day, election day. We've been bombarded with this day for the last 12 months, and today is finally here. The polls are open right now. Are you going out to vote? Are you going with Trump or are you going with Kamala and their vice presidents? Who do you got? What's your pick? Will we know who the president is tonight, or will it take a little bit later on? Maybe we'll know Wednesday or later on in the week. How long do you all think it'll take for them to count the votes? And who's going to win tonight? It's election day. Chicago public schools are actually closed in Chicago, Illinois today for election day. And so, this is early voting ended yesterday, and it's already over 30 million votes for that. So, which way are you all leaning? If you're leaning any type of way, is anybody out there going for Jill Stein, Green Party? I would just say vote with your head. Don't get caught up in your emotions. Look at policies today and what the presidents, your aldermen, governors, sheriffs, judges, who all are running that's on the ballot, because there's so much locally as well. Look at what everybody is planning to do. Don't vote for someone just because they are the same sorority or fraternity as you. Things like that, no identity stuff. Look at, okay, what are you trying to do? What do you want to get accomplished? What are you telling me? And vote that way. That would be my advice. Look at what Donald is saying. Look at what Kamala is saying. I'm sure they'll be saying even more today before the polls close to get those last minute votes, those swing votes, whatever the case may be. And this election is very popular. You see all of the celebrities getting involved. I see Kamala Harris brought out Cardi B, and then I think that situation kind of didn't go as well as planned. I saw Cardi talking on the internet about just not being able to memorize certain things, so that's why she writes them down, I guess, with her speech. I didn't see the actual speech, but Kamala did bring Cardi B out to try and help her get more votes. And so, yeah, this whole election is very popular. I think it's more popular in getting more attention than it would have been if it was still just Joe and Donald. I think people in the back of their minds felt Donald could just beat Joe hands down. Now he has more of a challenge with Kamala. And so, she's getting her sorority, the Alpha Kappa Alpha's involved. And then, I think just, it's been everywhere. I've seen it on other YouTube channels, not just mine, where people are reporting about it. It's something almost every day. So it's probably a lot of people who weren't even interested in just voting, period, who are now coming out to vote. I think, it's just become something it looks like the thing to do. And so they want to see a lot of people come out and vote. It's, I think, between 340 million and 350 million people living in the United States. So I expect to see at least close to 300 million votes. I'm thinking, if not more than that. I'm thinking a good portion of the country, at least 3/4 of the United States, will be voting today, I'm thinking. But those who haven't already voted, like I say, early voting brought in over 30 million votes. Be safe out there at the polls. Hopefully there's no funny business going on with people trying to intimidate or votes being lost at these polls. Everybody, please be respectful. If you're going early in the morning or you're going at 5 p.m., I think the polls close at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That's 6 p.m. Central time, which is my time. So, check in with your polling places to know what time they open and what time they close, so you don't miss out on voting. And then sit back and watch the election results. It's, I'm sure we'll be hearing from Kamala and Donald as tonight goes on at their campaign headquarters. I don't know where Donald is going to be. Kamala is going to be at her alma mater, Howard University. So that's her campaign headquarters there, and she'll be watching the votes and seeing where it all ends up at, like the rest of us at Howard. I'm guessing Donald will be at home. I'm not sure. But there's been so much leading up to this election, things that both of them have said, things they've done. I heard about Donald's latest fiasco where he was acting like he was giving oral sex on a microphone at one of his rallies. So that was crazy. I saw the video on X, and so yeah, I don't know what that was about. You know, a lot of people are saying it didn't look presidential, you know, doing something like that. And I've heard other people say these aren't the two best candidates that we could actually have, but this is what we have. So again, if you don't like them, look into Jill Stein. She's on the ballot. And just like I said, vote with your head, not with your heart. And look at your community that you're in, on the local level, with everyone who's running, because there's so many. You know, each city has their own politicians, and just be careful who you decide to put in there. Now, I know there's others out here who don't feel their vote counts, and there will be those who are just may not feel like voting, period. You know, and that's everyone's right. I guess just millions of votes and you figure your one doesn't help. I guess depends on how you look at it. But, you know, it's still counted in those millions, and that's going to help that person get in office that can help your community, your neighborhood. If you're trying to get certain contracts, you want to get schools improved, streets fixed up, whatever your neighborhood needs, and then they need the funding for, and what local politician is pushing for that in your area. You know, definitely look at all of that, find out names, put names to faces. I know it's a lot. And I know people have complained saying it's people running, they've got things in yards with names, elect, re-elect, who they never hear from except once every 4 years. So, you know, I get it. You might feel that you're being left out and that your politician in your area does not care about you, based on what they're saying, what they're doing. I know people have, you know, a lot of things. They feel politics is, you know, a stage and everyone's acting. Democrats and Republicans are on the same team. I've heard people say that just because they feel they all, you know, they go fight back and forth about passing certain laws and where money should go. But, you know, they all still get paid, but the citizens, you know, still continue to suffer. So people have that view of politics as well. This is why they don't, you know, get involved in it. They don't participate in the voting process. And, you know, that's on you. That's up to you. But definitely research, you know, who's running, you know, the whole voting process, where your vote goes, whether you think it counts or not, just so you have an idea. You know, you just educate yourself. I know a lot of people are calling it, I've seen on YouTube, they're calling it the presidential selection, not election, all because of the electoral college. You know, the presidency, for whatever reason, out of everything that's on that ballot today, they don't get directly voted for, as most of you may know. Everything else, judges, sheriff, you know, they get the popular vote, however many votes, 1, 2, 3, 4. But the presidency never has. It's always the electoral college, and they go off of those states that have the most electoral college votes, and then that's how the president gets voted for. So the selection comes from there, versus why you hear people saying it's a presidential selection, not election. And then, you know, I've heard people say they think the politics is all fixed, is rigged, and they already know who the next president is going to be. while we wait tonight or later on this week. They already know who it's going to be. They say it's always been that way. So, that's a conspiracy theory that's out there. It's interesting. I think Donald wins tonight. I think Kamala has a chance to win. If she does win, I think it will be looked at as an upset. I'm just saying that because I think Donald will be looked at as the favorite. He's already been president. So what's crazy is this is the first time we have two people where neither one is the president who's running, with Joe stepping down. Normally it's always the president and someone coming in trying to take that spot. Well, right now, Donald's not holding any office and Kamala is only vice president. So technically Joe is still the president, but the president is not running in this election. There is no president running. So that's the first for this one. And then it's a lot of first on Kamala's end, where she'll be not the first black person. People have been disputing that, saying she doesn't claim black. And she's Indian. Mom's Indian. Dad is from Jamaica. But where she would be the first black woman, first woman, first Indian woman to be president. So she's got four firsts that are on her side, where it's coming is if she does win, that's what will be accomplished. So very symbolic, being the first to do it in those areas that I just mentioned. No Indian has ever been president of the United States either. And so, and definitely not a Indian woman, and no woman, like I just said. And then she would be the first black woman. So, she's got all of that going for her, and she's riding the momentum off of that. And she's got a lot of support. So, I would be surprised if she wins, but definitely will take a lot into consideration in terms of what this means, and it being a first with a woman being president of the United States. And some people agree that a woman can be president. And you have others I've heard out here who don't think a woman can run the United States. It has to be a man. So, you have that whole gender war thing. But I think it's going to be a close race. I think Donald will pull it out and win the presidency for his second time, not in a row. And then I got him winning by probably 3 million votes. Not very slim compared to numbers of votes that get counted. And so, and I don't know if this whole oral sex thing that he was playing around with may have hurt him, to where some people just feel that that's just immature. And why are you doing that if you're running for office? Just the behavior. And so we'll look at all of that. Things that they've said. People talk about Kamala not answering things with direct answers. She beats around the bush on the questions. And then, what can help her is that she's with the pro-choice. She's for abortions. On Trump's end, they want to cut back on those and want people to have babies. And now you're taking away choice. But he wants to deport migrants, and people feel a certain way about the migrants being let into the country by the Democrats and the benefits they're getting versus the actual United States citizens who need help. And then so Kamala has that hurting her, where she's, on the side of the migrants. So they both got big things that they're running on that could be win or lose. It just depends on how you feel it affects you as the voter once you all go to the booths today, or those who have already went during the early voting time. So it's definitely going to be interesting all throughout today. I know there's going to be other people on YouTube who are covering it. I know there's some people on YouTube, they're thinking about going live, like Jason Black, he's the Black Authority, Yvette Carnell. They're thinking about going live. I think Jason's going to do it in his Patreon, so you have to be a paid member for that. But yeah, people are definitely live streaming. I was going to, but I decided to make this video instead. I'll be watching the results. Probably do a follow-up video to this once we have a winner. So be on the lookout for that. And then just the whole aftermath of it. But just wanted to do this initial video as the polls are open. Who do you think wins tonight and why? Let me know down in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell. Get this video out here. This is going out to all of my political people who are really into politics. Go ahead and comment on this video and what you think. If you want to say who you voted for, put that in the comments as well. Like, share, and subscribe. Once again, the channel is Facts or Feelings, all one word. Don't spell it out. You put that in the YouTube search, one word, Facts or Feelings. My channel comes right out, no spaces. And be safe out there at the polls, and let's make history. I'm out.